Everybody, today we're going to continue our Tamiya TT-02 Type SR build. We're going to be working on step 21, 22, and 23, which is essentially the rear damper stay and the rear axles. We're going to attach them as well. So as usual, let's get started by looking for the parts that we need to find for our steps. On step 21, you need to find the 3x12 screws. I actually couldn't find mine, and probably not fault of Tamiya. Maybe I used the wrong screw in a previous step. I don't know what it is, but anyway, I found some in my own toolbox and I'm using those. You also need the 3x10 screws. You obviously need the damper stay, as well as the 3x8 screws. And these blue ball connectors, you need 4 of those. And you also need this 3mm washer, which are those right there. That's for step 21. And then for step 22, we need to find these black ball connectors, these bearings, and I believe these were all in one bag together. You need to find 4 of these spacers, these 1mm spacers, as well as 2 pins. You need to find the wheel axle. These wheel axles look a little bit different. They have a cup on the end. You need to find these cross joints, just like we did in the previous episode. You need to find the swing shaft, and they're this very good looking anodized blue aluminum. And you need to find the axle rings, which look like this, as well as the snap pins, which are just basically body pins. Okay, and for step 23, when we're mounting the rear axle, you need to find the grip screws and some more washers. These are half millimeter washers. I don't have them here on the table right now. You need to find 4 of these rod ends. You need to find these turnbuckles. They're the same ones we used yesterday. And we need to find the shafts. Okay, let me rearrange the camera and get started. For step 21, you will need a 2mm hex driver. I'm going to use my electric today. So let's grab this damper stay. And like I mentioned before, I'm going to be building this kit exactly to the manual. I'm going to start with a very neutral setup. And in this instance, it is the 3rd hole from the bottom and the outside holes. That's where we're going to be putting on the ball connectors. So for these diagonals, we're going to be using the 12mm screws. These are the ones that I lost. And like I said, we're going to be coming off the 3rd hole from the bottom. Just like so. And then the blue spacer and the ball connector. Also going to need one of these to help you turn the ball connector. Okay. There we go. And let's go ahead and do the other side. Here's that 3rd hole from the bottom. The spacer and the ball connector. All right, there we go. Got the first step. And now we're going to be coming this direction into, we're going to be taking these 8mm screws and we're going to push them through and going to meet on the other end with the ball connector. And like I said, it's going to be the outside hole for this. like so. And throw on that ball connector. And just turn. Okay, for this one, I need to hold it. And there we go. And let's do the other screw. Again, it's going to be the outside hole, like so. Grab the ball connector and start turning. Okay. All right. And that's what it looks like. Okay. Let's move on. Wait, not yet. I forgot to put this onto the chassis. So it is this way. And we're going to be putting it right there. And let me just go ahead and put this through just a little bit as a placeholder. All right, that's going to stay now. And then I'm going to put a little grease, as the manual says, to help guide this screw all the way through the diff cover. And you will certainly feel the difference. Okay, I'm going to take this out. And just put a dab of grease on the end. Okay. And that's it. Now the tower is solid on the chassis. Okay. Now I will go to step 22. All right, you do need to find these uprights. They were in a blue plastic bag all by themselves, and I'm going to put them aside. Actually, one thing you need to do, just like we did in the previous episode, was to drill out this hole, and you just use a 2.5 millimeter drill bit and tap that out so that when the pin goes in here, you can lock it down with the grub screw. All right, so similar to everything we did yesterday, we're going to, it's actually only one-sided today, only one of these rings to place, so it's going to be easier, I hope. You're going to need the wheel axle and this lovely dog bone, the cross joint, and a pin, and also the axle ring. And then we'll deal with the other stuff later. And again, you do need the grease, and I'm just going to start it off by putting it on the dog bone. And then placing this in there. And I'm going going to slip the grease that I have extra here into there and place this pin all the way through. Okay. And now I'm going to get that axle ring. Here it is. And place it into the hole where the pin is not. So here's one where the pin didn't go through. And it's a little bit tricky the first time, but it's not hard. I like to look at it this way. And then pull that over. And there you go. Now it's in the hole. And then I kind of just go around and make sure it falls into the groove. I have to pull it a little bit more. Okay. And that's what it looks like when it snaps in place. The ring needs to fall into the groove right there. And now this is a solid piece. All right. The next piece is going to be the bearing. And then the upright. And we're going to put the pin here. And now we're going to put the ball connector with the spacer up top. And it is this black one right here. And it looks like I'm going to have to use the hex driver instead of the wrench this time. Okay. Alrighty. And it looks something like this. So let me go ahead and do the other side. Be right back. Alright, just as the previous episode, I need to bring out my shock pliers, and also, it's actually pretty easy. You can probably just use your hand, but I do have this rod end little wrench here that I got off of a 3 racing kit. And I'm just going to turn that there and then bring over another rod end. And remember, the side that's closer to the hex nut here is clockwise, and then when you're on the opposite side, this is counterclockwise. Real simple explanation why is when these turnbuckles are on the car and you want to make an adjustment, you take the wrench and turn this hex right here. It will make the turnbuckle longer or shorter. Okay, let me build the other one and then we'll go ahead and measure them. They both need to be 14.5 millimeters right here. Oops. Here's turnbuckle. I've built a handful of these. I won't say I built a lot of these, but I have built quite a few kits that had turnbuckles. I have to say these are some of the easiest ones to build. I think the hardest ones I've ever had to build was on a Axial SCX-10-2 kit, but that was a while ago. Let's see. Or maybe those were links. I'm probably thinking about links. They were pretty hard to build. I don't think the SCX-10-2 had turnbuckles. Alrighty. Okay. Let me grab the calipers and see how far off we are. Not that bad. I'm going to turn this side. All right, you need to adjust these turnbuckles so that the space between the rod ends is 14.5 millimeters. Went ahead and assembled this side of the axle to show you what it looks like, and it's actually a little bit tricky, and I'll tell you why. One of the first things you need to do, and I recommend doing this in this order, you need to put 2 spacers in between there. And it's a little bit difficult. So what I suggest you do is to place this, and it's even harder to try to get my hands out of the camera angle. All right, just like so. And then just wiggle that in there. Push the rod through just halfway into the upright there, and then slide the second bearing in between. Grab a pair of tweezers and kind of just jiggle it into place. If you go too far, that's okay. Just pull it back out with the tweezers until it pushes through. I think we're almost there. If you find a different way to do this, please share it in the comments below. I think everybody watching this video would appreciate a better way to do this, but this is the way that I found works, and there you go. And I also managed, I don't know if you can see, I also managed to luckily place the shaft where the flat spot is facing this hole, and that's where the grub screw will go in. This is really easy because it's on the face of the upright. Okay, and now that pin is locked in there. It's not going to slide out. And when you're here, make sure you grease the end of this dog bone and put that in there, and make sure it stays in there when you secure this. So I like to do this one first, and it's going into that ball end right there. Okay, and then I'm going to press down with my thumb. If you're not at the perfect angle, it's darn near impossible. So I need to lower the arms a little bit. Oh man. All right. Phew, really had to struggle with that one. But there you go. That was the last step in completing the front axles. We put together the damper stay and we mounted the front axles onto the damper stay. So there you go. That's how it's done. I hope you learned something from this video. I hope I helped you put this part of the kit together. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And please subscribe, turn on notification, and I'll see you guys in the next video.